Well, Professor, is it correct to say that lenders are guaranteed by the ability of the SPV to generate cash flows?
The answer is, in principle, yes, it is so. Project finance is a typical cash flow based lending. So basically, creditors rely on the ability of the SPV to generate a sufficient amount of cash. However, as it frequently happens in this kind of transactions, creditors also require an additional level of protection, asking that every kind of assets that is included into the perimeter of the SPV is given as a collateral for the lenders themselves. So in project finance, every creditor is always guaranteed, and there is no unsecured creditors. So from this point of view, I would say cash flow is important, but collateral is always there. However, Carlo, just let me tell you one thing. In normal corporate finance, take for example the case of a mortgage loan. If you want to buy a house and you go to a bank, the bank will ask you a mortgage on your house, so that if you don't pay the amount due for principal and interest, the bank will pick up the guarantee, will sell the guarantee in order to recover the amount that the lender has lent you. So in this sense, in a standard corporate finance setting, guarantees play a reinforcing role for the creditor. You pay me, fine. You don't pay me, I pick up the guarantee, I sell the guarantee, and I recover my money. Now, think instead to the very specific nature of project finance. And suppose, for example, that you are building an underground tunnel, for example, the Eurotunnel, connecting France to Great Britain. If the SPV does not pay the creditors, is this reasoning still true? So is it true that a lender can pick up the guarantee, so the Eurotunnel, sell the Eurotunnel to a third party and recover the money? It is absolutely unrealistic, because assets are so specific that at the very end, the resellable value of this guarantee is close to zero. So the bottom line is, Carlo, returning to your question, only cash flows? The answer is no, there is also collateral, but is collateral the determinant variable on which creditors provide credit to SPV? The answer is no. Collateral, in a sense, is a sort of a defensive protection that creditors require in order to put their hands on whatever is available in the SPV in case the SPV experiences some troubles in getting the creditor repaid.
So is there a standard security package?
The answer is yes. In general, a security package is pretty standard. So it is not something specific related to project finance, but it is pretty common in all structured transactions. So securitization, leveraged acquisitions, LBOs, etc., etc. And in general, there are different pillars that represent the typical security package. The first one is obviously the mortgage on the fixed assets of the vehicle. So creditors require that every fixed asset, plant and equipment, industrial machinery, etc., is given as a security to them, so that in case something unexpected comes out, I can pick up that plant and take the control of that specific plant. The second pillar of a standard security package is represented by the pledge on the shares of the SPV. Let me explain. When you ask creditors to provide you with money for a project finance, creditors immediately ask the sponsors of the SPV to pledge these shares to their own benefit. In most legislations, when you apply a pledge on the shares, the voting rights on those shares is shifted from the shareholders to the creditors. So you can appreciate that if I pledge the shares to the benefit of creditors, in case something doesn't move as expected, creditors can take over the control of the vehicle because they have the voting right. They can say, I agree, or I do not agree. Okay? The third pillar of the security package is basically represented by the assignment of all the credits of the SPV to the creditors themselves. Again, let me explain with an example. Suppose that the SPV has entered into an insurance contract that covers you against unexpected risks. Suppose that this risk comes out. If you are refunded by the insurance in terms of the amount that you have guaranteed, this credit is immediately shifted to creditors so that creditors can recover the amount of money that they have lent to the SPV. And this holds true for all the credits. For example, credits for long-term sales agreement, credits related to whatever kind of cash flow that the SPV is entitled to receive from third parties. All these cash flows are diverted to the creditors themselves. Last but not least, the final pillar of our security package is represented by the pledge on the SPV current account. Going back to our previous sessions, we said that the agent bank in the syndicate manages the SPV current account. If you have money deposited in the current account, if I put a pledge on this cash flow, this means that creditors can have the possibility to attack that cash flow, that amount of money that is included in the SPV current account, in order to recover their creditors' rights. So, Carlo, at the very end, you see that the bottom line of our story is security package is important. Security package is very pervasive because it is attacking everything that the SPV has. But the bottom line is don't rely on simply the security package, because otherwise you make a big mistake, particularly in transactions like project finance or whatever kind of structured finance deal.